Now, I know you're a smart person. You understand very complex ideas, and you can probably explain how a blockchain works, or even deconstruct the economic policies of the Federal Reserve. But the problem here is that your bank account doesn't reflect all of that. That means there's a disconnect, a cognitive dissonance. And you feel like you followed the rules. You went to college, you got a good job, but the financial security you were promised just never showed up. And you probably have it figured out by now. It must just be that you didn't make enough money. If you could just get that raise, or the promotion, or that side hustle working properly, netting you an extra $2,000 a month, it would all work into place. But that itself is the number one myth keeping smart people broke. And it's the most seductive lie that you can tell yourself. And this myth is so compelling because it's built on a foundation of flawless logic. The equation seems very obvious. If your cash outflow is greater than your cash inflow, then the most direct variable to change is your cash inflow. This way, it turns a messy internal problem of behavior into a clean external problem of negotiation. And it's a puzzle of career advancement, which feels like it's a worthy challenge for a capable mind. Because it is far more intellectually engaging to plot a path to a raise rather than dissect your own spending psychology. So the brain, clever as it is, conveniently offloads the blame. It points the finger at your boss, at your company, the entire system, anything just to avoid the murky, uncomfortable work of auditing the internal system. This isn't a character flaw, it's a cognitive shortcut, and it is one that keeps you running on a treadmill. Now, your intelligence is being held by two psychological forces. The first is what we call the paradox of choice, where you know you should be investing. So you go online, and you see that there are literally thousands of ETFs, stocks, mutual funds, crypto assets. Your brain, which seeks the optimal path, doesn't see opportunity, it sees risk. The risk of choosing wrong, the risk of not picking the absolute best one. So what do? You end up researching more. You then fall into analysis paralysis. You consume a lot of information, which leaves you feeling productive. But then you take zero action, and you're frozen by fear of a non-optimal decision. The second force is even more powerful. It's something we call loss aversion. And the studies and research that have been done on this show that the pain of losing $100 is psychologically about twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining $100. For you, this isn't about your money. It's about your identity. So a financial loss wouldn't just feel like a hit to your wallet, it would feel like a personal failure. It would be a verdict on your intelligence. Because you think to yourself, how could someone so smart make such a dumb move? So you end up doing the safe thing. You leave your money in a savings account, or under your bed in your mattress, earning nothing. Watching inflation slowly steal from you. Because the fear of a potential temporary dip in the market is much more terrifying than the guarantee of losing purchasing power. And you're playing not to lose, instead of playing to win. And this is why the myth of more income is so dangerous. It gives you an excuse to stay in this loop. You think to yourself, I'll just wait until I have more money so I can feel more confident. But the brutal, liberating truth is that a raise is just a bigger bucket for a person with a hole in the bottom. You might have already heard about this, but there's a well-documented phenomenon known as lifestyle inflation. The moment you get that 20% raise, your brain immediately recalculates. That apartment that you thought was just fine, and now it feels beneath you. You think to yourself that you deserve a nicer car, even your grocery cart gets an upgrade. But you didn't solve the problem. You just gave yourself a more expensive set of problems. And now your outflow, your cash outflows has expanded to meet your new cash inflow. Because the problem was never the amount of water coming in. The problem was the design of the bucket. So if the problem isn't income, then what's the solution? It's not a number, it's a system. But not a complex spreadsheet heavy chore that your brain will rebel against. The escape hatch is to use your intellect to design a simple automated system that outsmarts your own biases. And this is where we employ a third psychological principle. It's called the nudge theory. For a smart person, the way you can defeat analysis paralysis and loss aversion is by making the smart choice, the default choice, the easy choice. And then you make it the passive choice. So you don't try to muster willpower every month. You decide to automate it. You set up a rule that says, the day after my paycheck hits, $500 automatically gets transferred to my investment account. That way you don't even think about it. You don't debate it. Your bias towards the status quo and inertia now works for you and not against you. That money is just gone, working for future you. And then you overcome the paradox of choice by making one simple good decision. You choose a single broad market index fund. You accept that it's only 95% optimal, which is infinitely better than 0%, because you were just sitting there waiting for 100%. This is the ultimate intellectual hack. Winning not by being the smartest stock picker, but by being the most disciplined architect of your own behavior. So the system isn't about restriction, it's about freedom. It's you telling your money that this $300 is for fun. Go wild, and we'll see you next month. That's control, and that is clarity. The goal is to build a machine that converts the money you do have into security and choices. Your salary is just the raw material, but you are the engineer. So stop waiting for the world to give you a bigger bucket. Start plugging the holes by building your system. Stop trying to outthink the market and start outthinking your own psychology. Because the myth is dead now. Long live the system. Now go ahead and build yours.